So as you can see, I have 3 status blocks here. And I'll just quickly fill this up and indicate what particular index I'm going to use to get the measure from. So I'm practically trying to build a wallboard here, and it's pretty easy to also show off and make your wallboards pretty interesting and more visually appealing. We can add some animations as well in your wallboard. So this is what I'm trying to do now. So let me just quickly identify 3 quick measures here. So let's say I'm not gonna filter it anymore. Just have percentage answered, and just rename that. I'll just say percentage answered. And I'll just take out the double status label, and I'll just do the quick same thing for the other 2 data blocks. So as you can see, it's just really waiting for us to indicate which index we're getting the measure from. So it's very important to really have quick access to that data dictionary. All right, so this is for ASA, or average speed of answer. I'll just do the acronym and take out the status here. Good. And then lastly, just a random KPI as well. Something related to answered. Let's just say, there you go. Let's just say handled count. So this is across all time. So don't be shocked with the number that you're seeing. So I haven't filtered it in any way. Handled count, perfect. All right, we're good. So now that I have these similar data blocks, I can go ahead and go to my A icon here for header style. I can either set my thresholds, but obviously they don't belong to the same output format. I can also just go ahead and manually select the color for my data block instead of having thresholds. But thresholds would also be very helpful. So I'll just go ahead and do that for this percentage answered data block. So let's say from 0 to 70, just give that a red. And anything above, let's just say 80. I'll just do 2 thresholds here. 80 less than or equal to 100 would be green. All right. So I can also opt to put an alarm if I want to. So there are preloaded MP3 tones or alert sounds that you can use. So you can just check that out over here, which I won't do for now. I won't add alerts, or you can even upload your own alert sounds or MP3 files if you want to, and make a noise whenever, let's say, abandoned calls spiked.
Yeah, there you go.
And have the siren probably going off.
Fantastic.
All right.
That won't bother anyone at all.
So you can go ahead and have that in your threshold settings. I'll just have this in my status over here and have that as a quick background fill for my data block, or just have it as the measure color of my status. But I want it to be, very visible. I'll have it in my background fill for my data block. All right, so obviously it's in green. And I'll just do a quick manual coloring and styling for my other status data block. I'll just show you how it's done from a manual perspective. So I'll just click on, sorry, not status, but start color over here. And you have, this effect of a gradient. For the background color, you can choose what the direction of the gradient would be from an aesthetic standpoint. I'll just have it by default. And let's say my start color would be kind of green, and my stop color would just be a white. Or if you just want it to be a solid color, you can just copy the hex code over. But I want to show you the gradient effect. All right, so I'm pretty happy with this. So that's how it's going to look like pretty much. And you can explore and change. So instead of, let's say I want it from top left or left, top left. So that's how the gradient would look like. So let's just say I'm happy with this, or perhaps I'll just use a different color. I'm into styling mode today. I'll just I'll just use somewhat a pinkish tone over here. All right, something like that. I'm not happy with how it's looking. I want it. It doesn't really show the gradient. I want it to be in a darker tone, perhaps. There you go. So there's also a feature or more of a header option for status blocks that are pretty unique to status data blocks. You have a format painter over here, which will just carry over the settings of this status data block, the styling settings of this data block over to the next one. So you can just do that format painter, but I'll also just do, let's say I want a different font. Or for that header, let's just say the header, I want more of a marker feel. There you go. For status, there's really nothing. Oh yeah, go ahead and use that instead. Not the best font option. What about just, let's say, chalkboard? There you go. That's how it would look like. I'll just match it with my status chalkboard. There you go. So I'll use the format painter. And if I just carry that over to the next data block, it would practically, just copy the settings right there, which again saves you a lot of time. All right. So now that I have 3 data blocks here, I'm just gonna make this a bit bigger to my liking. I mean, just like this. Move it a bit here, make it a bit bigger like that. All right, there you go. I think it's equally resized. All right, so now that I have 3 status data blocks, what I want to do is to group them together, similar to how you see it here in the command center page where you have group data blocks together, that you can pretty much just move as one unit on the page. So hence making it easier for you. Right, so in order for us to be able to, let me go ahead and just change this over and match it as well. Make it chalkboard and chalkboard. There you go. So in order for us to be able to group our data blocks together, we'll just need to add content and add a data block. Not that we're adding a data block, but it's just the way for us to be able to get to this tab for group data block. All right, so just a quick note, before grouping your data blocks, make sure that your data blocks are already completely configured before grouping them together, because once they're grouped, you can no longer edit them unless you ungroup them again. Okay, so I'm just gonna select all these 3 status blocks. And then now you would notice they're all grouped together, and you will also get an additional group header, which I would just style. I'll just take out the header text and make that transparent for aesthetic reasons. There you go. So it would be easier for me to just basically move this 3 data blocks as one group or one unit over or all over the page. So now that I have that, the default setting of your group data blocks will be this way. It's just going to be one strip. If you hover onto the header of your group header, you will see this change type, and this is pretty cool. I really like this feature. You can add animation for group data blocks, where you can either choose a marquee or a 3D carousel. Let's go ahead and check on marquee first. And you can set the play speed. So let's say I want that scrolling, this play speed of 15 seconds. So there you go. So it would be scrolling across your page with that play speed. You can change that to whatever you would want to set it to. And another version of this would be the 3D carousel. I'll just keep it on the same play speed. So I guess it would be better if you have at least 4 data blocks for the 3D carousel for you to get a cube. For this, I'm expecting to get more of a pyramid rotating because I just have 3 data blocks. But another version of this would look like this. There you go. So again, pretty cool, huh? Just giving your wallboard some animation, something more dynamic, a movement that would really catch the people's attention, especially when it's, flashed on a big screen.
Cool.
So I'll keep it. I prefer a marquee because I just have 3 data blocks. There you go. And I can resize this as a whole group instead, making it smaller, making it bigger, easier that way. Let me just show you how you can ungroup it. So if you are to change the status data blocks or even add more status blocks before grouping them together. So on top of your header, you will get your group header rather. You will get this ungroup data block icon. And you'll just get a confirmation for that. As soon as you ungroup, then that's when you can go ahead and reconfigure your status blocks or even add more before you group them. If you want to group them back, you have your placeholder here just on standby. You can just go ahead and click on the plus sign. Just click on group data block over here. And now start grouping your status blocks again. Then it would revert to the last setting that you had it, which was a marquee. All right.